welcome to a new video. Today's episode isn't your normal winter tools episode. We're talking about a new tool that is right for any level of bonsai practitioner and valuable tool to add to your toolbox. This is a tree that I entered into my bonsai club's summer show, I believe 2 years ago. This prompt is called the Harsh Master, and the goal of this prompt is to provide it an image of one of your bonsai trees and to have it spit back a very literal, constructive, and oftentimes harsh criticism of your tree. The prompts are all in the description of the video in case anybody wants to try this on their own. The prompts are designed to work with your favorite AI, so Gemini, ChatGPT, Claude, Grok if you're spicy. So let's go through this one. Essentially what we're asking, what we're trying to do is give it some context and some specific tasks to do around being that harsh master. So I uploaded the picture and entered the prompts, and as you see, it is pretty harsh. The tree is nowhere near a show quality tree, and it definitely catches it and calls that out. I do like the fact that it highlights some of the strengths of the tree and really talks about the weaknesses. I can imagine if you had a misbalanced tree or a tree that was further in refinement but not classically styled or had some major flaws, it would be really good at helping you catch those. And it also provides a final assessment of the tree on a 1 to 10 scale and a bunch of standard dimensions for bonsai judging. The next prompt that I created for my toolbox is the Tactician. This one's really about coming up with a long-term plan for a given tree that you have and tailoring that plan to your specific microclimate or location or your zip code, really. The prompts are in the description of the video in case you want to try this one out as well. And in this example, I talk about starting a Japanese black pine and having from kind of a rooting cutting. So basically start a seedling, cut it, and really gives a good high level summary of kind of timing and things to do, things to watch out for. It's calling out fungal infections for Japanese black pine. And it really lays out the kind of the different time horizons for this project, and then really an expectation of when you think you should be ready to get to an exhibit. So, again, a little bit of a region-specific information as well. So again, this is a really cool prompt for some general information about maybe a new tree you haven't worked on yet. Similarly, in that vein, if there is a tree, in this example, we'll use a larch, but say you had a tree that you've never worked on before, or nobody in your bonsai club or your immediate circle has a lot of information on how to make the tree a bonsai, or maybe you don't know if it can ramify or things like that. This prompt is good for that. So basically, you give it your location again, which stage of the tree, and really its goal is to tell you kind of a year by year, again, strategy of how to handle this specific cultivar, breed, genus, species of tree. Gives you some highlights for watering, fertilizing, when to repot. Again, all tailored for your specific location. Again, this information is really, I'd say, a critical element of learning bonsai quickly. Again, I think it's super helpful for beginners, but also for people who have been doing it a long time. I know folks have their own methods to do stuff, and oftentimes just looking at one of these prompts and seeing what it says and comparing it to what you are doing is super helpful. The next prompt in my toolbox is one I call the Muse. So this is a fun prompt for maybe when you have a tree that you've started to style, or maybe you've styled it and it's in either mid development and it's not quite to the refinement stage, and you want to know, hey, what are some options? What could I do with this tree? It's kind of like the conversations you'd have at your bonsai club when you bring a tree to that club. This tree was actually from our club competition last year for nursery stock. So this is about a year old Hinoki that I picked up at Home Depot and did an initial styling, an aggressive initial styling, and got it into a very small pot. And so use this image for this prompt to go through. And again, the actual detailed prompt is in the description. So please use copy that and use it. Adulterate it however you see fit. Again, there's no perfect in this new AI world. So entered the photo and the prompt, and it started to give me some good feedback. I liked the material selection, so that was a positive thing for my nursery stock contest skills. And then talked about some potential styles and comparisons, and really gave kind of a really good in-depth information. Asked some additional clarifying questions, and then really came up with a here's the long-term vision. Maybe make a stout tree that has a lot of shari on top, and in the short term, make it be a cascade. So again, fairly similar to what I was thinking, but every once in a while it may trick you. Even putting these prompts in different AIs and with the same entry, you're going to get different kinds of answers. So it's really like having like a bonsai expert to talk to whenever you want. Super duper helpful for beginners, intermediate, or anybody doing bonsai. And again, this prompt tailors stuff specific to your climate, and talks about the species selection and stuff kind of specific to your region. So the final prompt in our AI tool belt for bonsai is one I called the Gray Dari. This prompt, you probably have done this exercise in forums or with your bonsai club on Facebook groups. It's really go to somebody who knows more about you when you have a problem and see if they can help you figure out what's going on. So in this example, I described something like juniper scale. This one isn't as novel as some of the other ones, but again, a good toolbox has a bunch of different kinds of tools, and this is an example of something that can be useful to help diagnose problems with your trees. So I hope you enjoyed this little bit different take on a winter tools video. If you'd enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Thanks again, and remember, only dead fish follow the stream.